Going live, I think. Possibly. Probably. Looks like it went. Let's see if YouTube catches up. That's good tea. It is early morning here for me, so I'm enjoying my breakfast of 2 teas. Going live, I think. God damn it. Good thing I listened to the audio. Picking up the wrong mic yet again. Aha!
Wish it would just always use the right one. So, yes, it should be fixed now. And that's why I listen. In case anybody's like, man, he starts every video just talking to himself. It's because I want to hear what it sounds like. We have a Beastmen interview today with Raizel. Oh, hi.
Sorry for the delay here.
You're good. What's up, dude?
I'm fine, and you?
Good. I was actually just about to announce who you were. So I'll let you do that for yourself.
Well, I'm a French player from Clan ODM, and I'm playing since beginning for Hammer. But really tryharding in multiplayer since like 1 year, maybe.
And you were recently, if I remember correctly, you were the Beastmen representative for Turin's Faction War, yes?
Yes, in the last one you did.
Yes. You had to fight Voidlaw's vampire counts on the patch where corpse cards were bugged.
Yeah, it was pretty hard. He had like 3 of them. It was
yes.
Yeah, pretty painful.
Jeremy, hello. I imagine it's pretty early for most of our other viewers. They'll have to catch it in VOD land after I add the timestamps. But people usually trickle in. Alrighty. Let's get on with it. First question I ask everybody is the best and worst 3 matchups in the game. It's from Rusty and myself.
Okay, so worst 3 I would say, so Vampires, Ghost, and then probably Chaos. I would say the 3 worst. And for the 3 best, Skaven, of course. I would say Brett. And I would say Tomb Kings.
Now, I recently played Voidlaw's as Vampire Coast, and he was Beastman, and he just bum rushed me with Great Weapon Minotaurs and beat me into the dirt. I took a bunch of crabs. Did I mess up? How was Coast tough?
No, like, there are several ways to play it for Coast. The thing is that you can go several builds that are very different, so it's kinda hard for Beastman to be ready for everything. Like, you can go for a kite with Gunnery Whites and Noctilus, but you can also go for a static position with like a kind of an anti-city build. A lot of guns and sirens, and it's pretty hard counter boss.
Gotcha. Actually, Complex Slayer asked about that. He said, Beastman versus Vampire Coast, who does it favor? So you're saying it favors the Coast.
Yeah.
Do you
have... I think that there are not a lot of like players playing Coast often, so you can be fine in the matchup against most players, but if the player is trained in the matchup, I think it's pretty good for Coast.
And I imagine you get a lot of practice with Anticity on this matchup, because he'll pick Coast into anything.
Yeah, we played it quite a bit. Quite a lot of matchups.
Which matchup changed the most with the DLC, in your opinion, from Butcherbird?
I would say Greenskin or Vampires.
Why is that?
Greenskin because like it went from pretty even but good for Greenskin to really good for Beastman, I think. And Vampires because you can now play the matchup. Like, it's not the best, but it's playable now.
Yeah, after the patch, it's okay if you spam throwing axes.
Yeah, you can spam throwing axes. You can go like full entity. It's a bit better.
Nameless Order asks, how's the matchup with greenskins? It feels evenish, but he's having a hard time trying to pinpoint the best lord for the greenskins. So he's asking what the greenskins can do, because Torox kind of dumpsters Grom the Paunch.
Well, to be honest, I think the matchup is bad for Greenskin, so I can't help him that much. Like, I'm not a really good Greenskin player. But yeah, like, I think there are no real good lords for Greenskin. Like, Grom can't really kill Torox. Grimgor is too slow, Skarshnik is too slow. You can take Spider, but Spider struggles a lot.
Yeah. I've recently been taking Azhag in the air, because at least then your lord doesn't get run down and killed. But it has been a tough matchup for me as well.
Yeah, I think it's hard now. Mostly because of Manticores and Torox.
Nameless Order asks also, list the matchups where Torox is not the optimal lord. So are there any matchups where you don't take Torox?
Yeah, against Wood Elf, against Ghost, against High Elf, and I think that's it.
High Elves? That one
Yeah,
surprises
the
me.
Fire Damage is not really like if the opponent goes Phoenix, it's kinda
Oh, that's a
hard
good point. That's a
because
good
then you
point.
do no damage. So
Yeah. Hank Cyrus asks, how do you deal with the Beastmen single entity squad? So I assume that means Gorbel, Torox, and Tuskor Mage, which are pretty oppressive.
well, it's pretty hard for most factions. Well, the best way is still to snipe them from range for the faction who can. Like Tuskar Chariot is still not that hard to snipe.
It is very squishy to missile attacks.
Yeah, it's not like artillery is really good. Some range lords like Marcus or Sisters of Twilight. Or else you can go like with your entity squad, which is pretty hard to play because Torox and Gorbul are cost effective, but like Chaos can do it, for example.
In the YouTube chat, what was your name again? Roosevelt Samuel asks, how do you like the Doom Bull? And Saltier Than You asked, where would you place it on the Beastmen Lord list?
I think it's pretty good, like middle ground. Like it's just overshadowed by Torox mostly, because for the little price in you had, you have like a far more tanky lord, so it's usually better. But solidly decent. Like you can go do some good squad with him, with his melee defense debuff,
Yeah.
and he's not that squishy, so
I'm okay with Torox not having it, but it is surprising he doesn't have the dazed trait. Like-
what trait? Ah, the dazed. Okay.
Yeah. It's weird that the Doom Bull apparently hits harder than Torox.
Yeah, it's kind of strange, but like Torok with dazed would be even more insane. So
Oh yeah, no, that would be messed
don't
up.
think it's needed.
We can transition to Lord since we're here. Butcherbird asks, as a joke, why is Torox so bad? So, translating that into not a joke, like,
Yeah, we
Torox
had
is
an argument already with Butcher
yeah,
and Torx.
Torox is good. He's way too good. So what would you like to see to bring him into line, but not ruin him as a character and make him unplayable?
I think his brass body ability should be reduced first. Like 41 seconds is far too long. And I think you could take out the melee defense. Maybe just leave the ward save. Like like double buff for 41 seconds for barely 200 is just too good. Just too strong. And then
Other than that,
then
he
the main
might be
problem I
okay.
would say are his animations. Like just really hard to pin him. It's hard to dodge him. It's hard to escape from him. Like any flying lord just gets stunned by him when he's doing his roll animation.
Yes.
But it's pretty hard to nerf. So Like mostly his ability, and then maybe either some armor or just make him less tanky. Like he's just too tanky for some factions.
Yeah. I hope they keep his damage up. I don't want them to nerf his damage because I personally really like how quickly he can delete something. And I know that sounds weird, but I don't really play Beastmen that much. But it is cool to just have this like giant flaming bull slamming through your front line, and if he gets his hands on something, he's gonna just tear it apart. And I think that's really cool. And I hope they
Yeah, I
don't
think
just make him
it's
worthless.
and honestly, his killing power is not like that amazing compared to other lords, so I don't think they should nerf the attack prowess.
I agree. What's the next most competitive lord after Torux? This is from Logic.
I would say probably Morgur.
Hey, Morgar.
I think Morgur is still very good. Kazrak is still pretty useless, I would say. Malagor is bad in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And the caster lords are just really easy to snipe, so it's a bit dangerous to bring them.
Morgar
So,
is
yeah, Morgar.
absurdly tanky. Somehow.
Yeah, he's very tanky. The double spawn summon is still good. And he's a decent duelist actually, so it's pretty nice.
I keep forgetting he has 75% missile resistance.
Yeah, that's the best part for him about him. And like he has regen, so regen, even to psychology. Honestly, he's really good. Like now you see Torx everywhere, but he's still very decent.
Yeah. I like Morgar when I don't know the matchup very well, because if you play with Torux incorrectly, he can actually die, whereas Morgar is safer if you don't know what you're doing. Well, we talked about Kazrik and Malagor. So, Saltier Than You asked, why is Kazrik better than Malagor now? Should his Scourge item get a change to help him become more competitive? So I think the first part was a joke. But Scourge, what does that item do?
It gives splash damage and bonus versus inf and some more damage, some more weapon strength. Well, it's not that bad, but it costs quite a lot, so it's pretty painful to bring.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think just Kazrak's abilities are very expensive.
Yeah, they're quite expensive, and like it doesn't do that much. Like he's good at killing infantry, but that's all basically. Like it's not like Grom that can duel some cheap entities or things like that.
Yeah.
Kazak can't really do that. And, he has no regen. He has nothing special.
None of his mounts give him anti-large, so he is always anti-infantry.
Yeah, just anti-infantry. He's fast and he can have Vanguard, which is pretty nice, but that's all basically.
Mm-hmm.
So you will need like either better abilities or just better stats to be able to kill like manticores or things like that pretty efficiently.
Hammond, Deadly Bunnies, and Cyrus ask how to fix Kazrik to make them the menace he is in the lore. Should he be nerfed, and why didn't he get his abilities after the DLC? For anybody who doesn't know about that, there was a funny bug where if you took him on his chariot, he didn't get any of his abilities for a little bit. Then they patched it. But how to make him the menace he is in the lore? Probably make the Dark Mail like 30% damage resistance, not 20.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, he's still far too easy to snipe. So, so I think so. And
also,
and his stats are just too trash. Like 28 melee defense is just really trash.
Yeah. He needs some defense against missiles and some capacity, otherwise he's just gonna get fireball spam till he's dead.
Yeah, also. Like the double hit on the chariots is still one of his problems.
Yeah.
As soon as there are like cannons or Gaze of Nagash and all these things, it's just auto death.
Pop Palpatine saying Kazrik is the best lord. Kazrik chariot beats Grom chariot. True, but Grom can run away and get back to full health.
Yeah, and Grom has just more support abilities and he has a gen.
Where was
kill
that?
entities.
Oh, yes. Saltier Than You, Chasing Rainbows and Butcherbird ask, how powerful is Malagor currently? Some people want him nerfed because he is so fast, but should that happen, does he need a new spell selection?
I don't think his speed is a problem because his spells are not that good. so I think it's kinda whatever. And it costs quite a lot now, actually. Like before, it was pretty nice because you could get him for like 900 something. He had like 2 spells, which were really good because it was the wild lore. Right now, like his spells are not as good as before, and it costs like 1,600 something when you take him.
Yeah, it's pretty
Maybe a
expensive.
bit less. So I think it's pretty bad, to be honest now. Like you can take him in like a few niche matchup, I guess, but like no real reason to take him instead of a good lord like Torox and just a normal caster with better magic.
What would you just revert him to having only wilds again, or would you want mixed spells but different spells?
The problem is that if he has wild, it's pretty broken because Tretarkin is broken. Then you have a Tretarkin caster with like 115 or 20 speed with Primal Fury, which will be pretty busted. But like some of his spells need to change, like yeah. Like the Mantle of Gorok is useless. The Shadow spells are decent. Saigar Summon is pretty useless too. Flock of Doom is pretty trash.
Yeah, Anticity made a whole video describing Flock of Doom.
Yeah, he does a lot of this time. But like at least like Breath Scream or Devolve, some useful spells. And I think it costs a bit too much also.
Yes. Transitioning to heroes for a second. Roosevelt Samuel in the chat, and also Saltier Than You asked, how should CA change or buff Wargors so that they become competitive heroes? Does it make sense how expensive they are? So Wargors went from being busted to kind of worthless. What's that about?
Well, the thing is that they don't really, like you have to take a spot for your casters, so you don't really take double Wargor, and then Gorbul are just better, honestly. Because your main threats are usually entities or monsters, so you don't really need something that kill infantry. Like you have Tuskgors for that. They cost 750 and they do their job pretty amazingly, so like Wargors don't really have a good purpose, I would say.
Yeah.
In most builds. Like their buff is decent but not really useful, and it costs a lot.
Yeah, I was trying to think in the Skaven matchup if they would be useful, because all our lords are going to be on foot except for the Bellseer, but honestly, Torox does just fine at killing any Skaven lord, so you don't really need
to
him.
be honest. So against Skaven, like Torox can kill pretty much all entities, even if it's like a LP or something like that. So
The joys of fire damage when all your large monsters have regen.
yeah, it's pretty painful. Like honestly, the Skaven Beastmen matchup is just painful to see.
Yeah. Wargor, huh? What now? I did. This isn't a question that was on the sheet, but I just thought of it. I did my Naked or No series where I go through every faction and tell you what you should probably bring on each lord and hero. And I got stumped on the Tuskor versus Razorgore Chariot. Does anybody take the Razorgore Chariot? Because its stats are better, but I like never see them. So why the Tuskor spam?
Yeah, nobody takes them anymore. Well, like usually you take costly chariots for the AP, but since Tuskgors have AP, you don't really need the Razorgors. Like the stats are not that important, to be honest. And like 400 cost difference is a lot. So you can still take them, but most of the time if you want to cut some cost, it's just better to go Tuskgors. Like you have Vanguard too, which is pretty nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's just it's mostly because of the AP, I would say.
But if you took the AP off of the Tuskor Chariots, they'd just be worthless, so yeah.
Yeah, like they are very good because of the AP, and without it, they will be like pretty.
When do you use a Chariot caster? Because sniping them with magic missiles is the only way I can deal with them quickly before Traderkin melts my Cav. That's from Hank Cyrus. So it's like, why wouldn't you just take your mage on foot where they can't get double hit by missiles?
Some factions can't do it. Like you don't take chariots against every faction that has artillery, basically. Wood Elf too, obviously, because they have the sisters and Waystalkers. I think that's all. But most of the time, Chariot is fine. Like, you can kill it with spells like Fireball and all, but if you are not too close, you can dodge, you can screen. Like, it's not that bad. So, in a faction that doesn't have artillery or really good sniping potential, you can take the Chariot.
Papa Palpatine repping the Razor Gore Chariot. Yeah, I have yet to fight with Kazrak, honestly. I hope he's good, but probably not. Alright, what Beastmen Legendary Lord would you like to see next added to the Beastmen? Goros, Ungrol, Gorther, or Slugton? Salty than you? I don't know who any of those are, but I hope you do.
I know most of them, but I would say Goros anyway, because I would really like a really fast Lord for Beastman. Like something that can go with all the Sentigors, which would be pretty nice. But yeah, I would say Goros.
For the true full Centaur build.
Yeah, Sentigors are still the most pleasant unit to use, so.
Yeah, I just showed on stream that a Chariot Caster can kill in one volley of like 3 cannons, but a Foot Caster gets knocked over.
With cannons it's pretty bullshit. It's really painful.
Everyone, non-Beastman players, thought Morgur was the Beastman's carry lord pre-DLC. What's your opinion on Morgur now, and where would you put him in comparison to other lords on the Beastman roster? Saltier than you in real human beings. So you indicated he's second best.
Yeah, something like that.
Is there anything about him you would want changed?
No, I think he's fine as he is. Like, he's doing his job, he doesn't get sniped, he helps break box mostly. I think he's decent for his price, like, just good.
What shit lord from another faction would you be happy to use on the Beastman roster? Hammond.
Oh yeah, I saw this question, but I have absolutely no idea, to be honest. Like, depends, like, are shit lords only generic lords, or you also consider the legendary lords?
I'd say either, probably, but I think the right answer is Tretch Graventail.
It could be funny, actually. Like, why not? Let's
just
how
give
much
him
does it
like
cost?
give him some like cow horns that are very obviously fake, and it's like, yeah.
Like, you take a trash lord, you put it in a OP faction, and then maybe he's actually a good lord.
Maybe. Oh, actually, he has an ability that you guys would like because you actually win at things. Tretch's Raiders is actually not terrible for Beastmen. 12% damage increase and plus 10 melee attack if you're winning in melee combat, which you guys with your charge bonuses and stuff actually might.
Oh yeah, so that's not bad actually. But it's 40 meters and he's on foot, so
Yeah.
that's pretty.
But it's extra bad on the Skaven roster where your units are never going to be winning.
Okay, yeah, it's pretty sad, but like you have a 70 melee defense, pretty amazing.
Yeah, he's tanky. Alright. This is more speculative. Hammond asks, would a Missile Lord and Hero be good for the faction? Like, you know, like a Lethanar or Marcus Wolfheart kind of thing.
I don't think so. I think it will be pretty useless.
Yeah.
Like, most of the time you're just rushing. Well, you're always rushing, basically. So, it will be pretty hard to get good value, and I don't see how it will have a good range, since Beastmen are basically just fighting with arrows and spears. So you will have low range, and you are playing a rush, so I don't think you will get good value with him.
If you were to give the current lords and heroes new mounts, what would they be? It could be from the lore or just made up. Or do they not even need more mounts? That's from Hammond.
I think they don't need any more mounts. Like, for most of them, you can't really give them anything. Like, you will not put Torox on a chariot or whatever, so...
Yeah.
For monitors, you can't give them anything. Malagor is flying, so you can't either. And I don't think Kazrak and casters should have anything else on chariots. I don't think they have in lore. I could be wrong, but I don't think so.
You don't want your Great Bray Shaman to get the Goblin Shaman treatment and get like a Jabberslythe mount?
Would be funny actually. I didn't think about that. Why not? Why not?
Yeah. I
It
love
would be
the
pretty funny, but for him to hold on the jabber with the animation, it would be pretty
yeah. I love how the
painful.
Goblin Great Shaman on a spider has just as much leadership as a regular spider, making your lord like one of the most breakable things on your roster.
Yeah, it's pretty sad. Yeah, it's like spiders or
It's very risky. All
yeah,
right.
sometimes it's
Papa Palpatine was in the chat, so he asks, "How can you beat a build with Kazric and a Jabberslife?"
oh. You take any faction with decent entities and you should win. Like Jabber will not kill entities and Kazrak is there, so it
Jeez.
should be fine.
In what matchups are Centaurs with great weapons viable in? Are they a decent unit or being overshadowed by Razor Gores and throwing axes? Saltier than you.
Uh, I, th I think they are decent. They're just very micro intensive because except for the charge, they don't do that much damage because they are really low stats. But on the charge, they can do really amazing. So I think they can be good, like against Brett, for example. You could say against Empire.
Why?
Um,
What? Why do they have worse stats than the basic Centaurs? I mean,
yeah, no
they have
idea.
armor piercing, but why did they lose 6 melee defense and 2 melee attack? That's so dumb.
Nobody knows. Nobody knows. It's a question we all have since a long time. But yeah, their stats are really low.
That is so low.
So
Okay.
you just have to get the charge, and then you leave.
Yeah. Wow.
But like against entities, for example, they can do amazing. If you get a charge on like Gunnery White or something like that, you can do a lot of damage.
Yeah, I imagine. Dude, the Sons of Goros also have pretty bad stats for an ROR. Damn.
Yeah, it's not that good.
Okay. That is that is really low. Like that is shocking. I have not noticed that at all because I
Yeah,
don't
it's
really play
pretty
Beastmen.
trash.
All right.
Pretty trash.
Saltier Than You also asks, some people say Korok's Man Rippers are good in the Beastmen matchup. Sorry, Bretonia matchup. What do you make of them?
It's a bottom matchup. I wouldn't play them to be honest, but I think it's pretty slow. It's just giving value to Fae, to archers. Like I think you have better units if you want to kill the curve. Like Sentinels are just amazing. They trade pretty good.
Yeah.
If you have some chaff support and you have Razor Gores, you have Minotaurs if you want. You have Gorgon if you want to troll a bit, but
I've actually heard that that matchup is really hard for Bretonia right now.
yeah, it's pretty hard. Like, well, a big part of it is because of Tretorkin, which is like as soon as Votia make a mistake with like two knights on top of each other, you get like 28 dead models. So pretty, it's pretty
Yes.
painful. And as soon as you win the calf fight, the game is won. So yeah, I think it's really hard for Britannia right now.
I should actually show that. Traitorkin damage. Alright. And then Logic asked the question that everybody was too scared to ask. When is a full Minotaur build viable?
It's good when you can screen all range. So that means could try it against Chaos, I guess. I was doing it a bit some time ago. You could play it against not a lot actually.
The AI are being
Yeah,
very
I would
strange
say
about their patterns. Okay, attach that. Alright.
like my novice is it's really funny to play, but it doesn't really work against any good player, to be honest. Sadly.
Ease. Let's transition to game 3. Butcherbird asks, what are you the saddest that didn't make it into the DLC that you were hoping for? Butcherbird. So is there anything in the last DLC that didn't make it in that you wished had?
No, I was pretty happy with what we got. I would have liked one more Lord. But apart from that, I was pretty happy, honestly. Well, no, it would have been fun to have like infantry for each god, but I was sure we wouldn't get it, so it was not really a surprise. Like I wanted corn gores, pestigores, and all of that, but
yes. Hammond asks, create one unit and add it to the roster. What would you want? Would it be that?
one unit to add to the roster. Um, good question. Santigors with armor.
Armored Centaurs.
Pretty much, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, I can see it. That'd be nice. Hopefully slower.
Like
Hopefully not.
70 or so.
Yeah, not 84 speed.
No, 75.
What Game 3 faction do you think the Beastmen would match up against in a DLC? And what would be in it?
I don't really know anything about the lore of Kate, so no idea about them. I guess against Kisley it could be possible, but I don't think so either. I guess the ogres could do it. Factions are pretty similar, you could say there is a fight between them, but I don't really see any good choice for DLC with Beastmen, to be honest. But
Could be the Chaos Dwarves if the rumors about them are true.
oh yeah, true. Yeah, because I think Chaos Dwarf have some Santigors units or something like that.
Yeah. The plot of the
At least-
DLC would probably be they're trying to enslave as many Beastmen as possible, and then you're playing. If you play the Beastmen side, you're trying to, break out. Ooh, actually, that would be kind of a fun campaign. So you start the Beastmen campaign after the Chaos Dwarves win their campaign. So there's a whole bunch of Beastmen tribes locked up in slave camps, and you have to run around breaking out slave camps. And every time you do, it's like the first camp you break open unlocks the use of Centaurs because you freed a Centaur tribe, and then it's like,
that could be amazing, yeah.
yeah.
It could be a very fun campaign.
All right, I want that now. Chaos Dwarves versus Beastmen.
I think we'll have to wait a bit, but yeah.
Just
Probably,
allow me to dream.
No, I think they could do it. Like I think it's a good matchup for a DLC.
Yes. All right. And then the last Game 3 question from Jeremy. What do you expect to be good or bad matchups versus the Game 3 factions based on what we know?
Against Kate, I think it will be decent. Like Beastmen are pretty strong against static enemies,
Mm-hmm.
so I would say it's pretty fine. Against Kisley, it could be hard because a lot of hybrid units and really fast cav, so it could be hard to break.
Corn is
Corn.
going to be hard.
Con is gonna be hard, I think, yeah, because I think it will be really painful to kill the entities,
Mhm.
and you don't have, yeah. I think it will be hard if you get destroyed in the entity fight. And then there is a Tzinch. For Tzinch, I have no idea. I didn't look at their full roster yet. Well, I saw the videos, but like most of their stuff seems to be flying, so
Yeah.
could be hard. But to be honest, I have no idea about Tzinch.
Zinch's roster is not impressing me so far on an aesthetic level, so the units could be good on paper. I don't know, but just looking at pink blobs with a couple eyes or like a couple birds up in the sky, so far I'm not really about it. So I don't think Zinch is going to be my faction.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm not really impressed by any of the rosters, but I think for now it's been pretty disappointing. But
Cathay stole my Giselles! Skaven made
Also,
it first.
Kate is a mix of factions.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the rosters are pretty lacking, like very little, and
Let's go to the Raizel specific questions before we dive deep into units.
oof.
Hammond and Bird ask, how did you get your name?
It comes from an anime, well, manhwa, but it's also an anime, so
Hmm.
which is called Noblesse. I think it's
Hammond
pretty known.
Hammond asks, "How are you, physically and mentally? Are you doing okay, buddy?"
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. I was pretty sick these last days, so but now it's better, so it's fine.
I am glad you are feeling better, and I'm sad to hear that you were sick at all.
Thanks. Well, it happens. It happens. A lot of sick people lately in France.
Yeah, around the world. How? Chasing Rainbows posted a video, which is impossible to watch here, but I will do my best to impersonate it. Is this the correct pronunciation of croissant?
Yeah, it's croissant.
Yeah, the video
Yeah,
was like a daughter trolling her French father, and she just kept saying croissant, and he's like croissant. It was very funny.
yeah, everyone is trolling French with that. We're even trolling croissant au beurre in our clan.
Oh yeah, yeah. Is Torux the most campaign ever? Sorry, the most fun campaign ever. Jeremy.
I don't think so. No. Well, I tried a bit this campaign. I think it's just too easy, so you don't have that much fun.
Oh, I'm surprised. I
I think
did.
it's pretty easy to like get really strong really fast, and
Yeah,
then well, you just stun the AI. So
it is very thematic, if not super exhilarating. I will
I
admit
think
that.
it's still good, but yeah. But I don't really
Uh,
play a lot of campaign anymore, so
I keep trying to get back into it, and then I get bored around turn 60, which sounds like a long time, but in Total War it isn't.
yeah, I find it too boring, honestly. Like when you play a lot of multiplayer, then you can't really play the battle against AI. It's just so boring.
Wholesome chat, says Ice Power. Ice Power, you're up next after Beastmen. Dark Elves is the last faction, so people can't dodge you anymore. Do you do you miss how people went moo when Beastmen was underrated?
Yeah,
Way.
I think it was pretty funny.
Yeah, now no one's excited to see the Beastmen. They're just like, oh crap, Beastmen.
No, because you see them every time, so and they're winning most of the time, so it's pretty boring. But it's pretty sad.
How would you describe Beastmen and who they naturally counter? For example, Beastmen are an anti-elf faction or an anti-missile faction because reasons. Saltier than you.
I think this one are a swarm faction, pretty good against static factions. Like, yeah, every static factions.
Muscaven.
Like Skaven. Like Skaven.
My poor rats. Pop Palpatine asking the real questions. Who would you consider to be the best Beastman player, and whose build do you think are the coolest?
Um, I don't think there is one best player. Like there's a group of really good Beastmen player, I would say. And for the coolest builds, I got no idea. Like all the builds I saw lately with Beastmen were pretty like classic, I would say. Like there was nothing really spicy in it, so I don't really know actually.
I just thought about that. What happened to Tesla? Do you remember Tesla?
Yeah, I have no idea.
I missed that guy. He was a good Beastman player.
Uh, I think he left after the World Cup
Yeah,
because he started it, and then I think his clanmate said he had to leave it, and since then I think he didn't play.
damn. Jeremy says, I'm bad at Beastmen. How do I get better besides just playing a different faction?
I would say Santigor Micro is the most important thing for Beastmen. They're just doing everything for you. And then just your entities. Like entities and cav is like the most important thing. Don't
Yeah.
really have to care about your infantry or your archers.
I did notice that whenever I play Beastman players, they don't seem to give a shit if I kill their infantry. They don't
No,
really
like
dodge anything.
sometimes I don't even look at them. Like I just right click and then I micro my my other units.
I'm guessing that's why Ungors are so popular, is just because you don't have to
Yeah.
care about them. They're terrible.
Yeah, they're just amazing. Some Tigers are too good.
Were Beastmen already good before the update and people were just sleeping on them? Killing Smalls.
I think so. Like, I was playing them a lot before the DLC, and I think they were honestly really decent. Like, far from where they are now, but like I think they were like middle tier faction. But you could play against pretty much everything except some bad matchups. And I think they were really, really underrated.
I feel that way about Dark Elves right now, but
Yeah, I think Dark Elf are really good right now. Like, they're not that fun to play because it's only a few units mostly.
careful. Ice
That are
Power's in
really-
chat. He might hear us.
I think you would agree that some units are a bit carrying the roster.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. What is your favorite Beastman matchup to play, Butcherbird? And that doesn't mean the easiest. Like, which one you have the most fun?
Probably Wood Elf.
Really?
When it's not cheese, of course. But when it's like two good builds, two fun builds, I think it's really, really nice to play.
Huh.
Because like it's really like two glass cannon faction, and it's just a micro fight.
That's true. I have such a residual hatred of Wood Elves that I cannot imagine playing against them ever being called fun.
Well, I hate them now, but when you play against players who bring nice builds, it's good. But yeah, you can have a lot of cheese build and it's pretty boring then, but the faction, yeah, it's kinda sad right now, I think, compared to what it was before.
Are there any lores of Magic you would like added to the Beastmen roster? And they have to be thematic, not like, the Skaven lores.
No, I think for lords it's fine for Beastmen. Like they have four good lords, and I think it's
yeah.
Death is really good. Wild is really good.
Trying to think of anything that I think is missing. Yeah, they got it covered.
Yeah, I don't think they are missing anything.
Lizards versus mammals, which are superior? 0.
In Warhammers or in real life?
The question didn't specify, so I'm going to say Warhammer.
Mammals.
You know we're mammals. I thought we would get a little more of a thumb on the scale there, but it's good to know. All right. Which Beastman unit looks the best? Butcherbird.
Gorgon, for sure.
Which Beastman model should get an update visually?
No idea. Maybe Tusgar actually. I think Tusgar look really bad, but
Really?
yeah, like I love Razorgars, but I think Tusgar look kinda. I don't know. They don't seem really well made, in my opinion.
All right, I'll take a look. I also haven't really looked at a Tuskar that closely. Where? Oh, I love this question because it's true. So in the lore, I've known this from reading the Gotrek and Felix books. In the lore, Beastmen is much more generic of a term. Like, it's anything that is a monster kind of thing. So there's like fish Beastmen. There's like lizard Beastmen, bird Beastmen, and they're not. It's not like regional or anything. You know, it's like when Beastmen attack, it's a complete smattering. So Artisan Tech Priest asks, where are all the non-bovine Beastmen? Why is everything a goat or a cow? And that is a good question. For some reason, Total War specifically went goats and cows. That's all it is, and that's all we're gonna do.
Well, probably because it's easier to do. Like once you have one of the models, the others are pretty similar, I guess.
Yeah.
Like it will cost a lot if you had to make also bird things and lizard things and fish things.
But they could just steal the lizardmen from the lizardmen roster and just throw a coat of paint over them and hope no one notices.
Yeah, but people will still complain.
Yeah.
People notice these details, so But I think it's fine like this, like cows and goats are what looks the most symbolic, I would say, for Beastmen.
Sorry, ice power distracted me, and then I forgot what my question was going to be. Damn it, ice power. Oh yeah. How does it feel to go from irrelevance to busted OP within one patch? Bob Tresh.
Feels pretty bad because well, it's pretty boring to see Beastman all the time.
Yeah.
Like it as it is for every faction. So when it's your main, it's even worse because then you see it all the time and you play it all the time. So
yeah,
just Beastman over.
My friend had a pretty rough time because before any patches, he was a Beastmen Lizardman main, and then the Silence and the Fury happened, and now Lizardmen and Beastmen are two of the strongest factions. And whenever he tries to pick them, because he wants to pick him because he likes him, people are like, wow, fucking meta slave, you piece of shit. He's like, I just want to play my factions.
Yeah, it's pretty sad that, like, it's always pretty shit when the meta is all around like 2 or 3 factions. It's always been a bit like that, but
yeah,
at least it's taking turns. Sorry. TP, White Green Skin. Now we have Beastman. Zard.
Dr. Jellyfish asks, is there any way to beat a good Beastmen player with a faction that does not counter Beastmen? So
I think it's really hard.
Yeah. Besides hard countering someone, what can you do?
Well, you can train some matchups like really hard to be able to have a good build. Like some people are not playing Beastmen for a long time, so they are not always really experienced with them. So you can get some matchups where they don't have a lot of training, or they just don't take good builds, and you can get some wins. But overall, yeah, it's pretty hard.
Mike Lit, Skaven was unplayable when Beastmen chariots were bugged. Yep. It's still pretty bad, but not unplayable.
Yeah, it's still pretty harsh.
Did you play Rome 1 or Rome 2?
I played it, yeah.
Okay.
Quite some time ago, but
then these questions actually work. Hammond asks, what was your favorite faction in Rome 1, and what faction in Rome 2 is most like Beastmen?
Rome 1, it was the Greek faction, and in Rome 2, probably one of the nomadics Civ, I would say. Like, I don't remember all the names, but Sarmatians and whatever else was in the northeast of the map.
Yeah. Hammond asks, also, what is one thing that gets your body, soul, and mind ready for a big tournament? Is it Nesquik, dubstep music, Beethoven, or a good night's sleep?
I'm not sleeping a lot, so not sleep. Music is pretty good. Music or just joking with some friends. So
smart.
It sets the mood.
What is your most Beastmen trait as a person, Hammond?
I like alcohol. I'm a true Centigo.
Yes. What's your thought on a full Centicore build, Papa Palpatine?
I think it's one of the funniest builds to play, and it can actually be decent sometimes. In some matchups, like you can take it and do pretty well, and it's really fun to play. Like you have to micro so much, but it feels really rewarding to play.
Yeah. Dorothy is not doing as poorly against Torix as I would have thought.
Dorothy is pretty damn strong as a duelist.
Yeah. Rats or mice? Real human being.
Mice. I hate Skaven.
Damn it. Why do you have to hurt me? Alright.
I'm sorry, but yeah, I was bullied by Skaven a bit when I came in ODM, so now I'm hating them.
Well, we deserve it. And then Real Human Being asks, what's the most niche and versatile unit and most niche and versatile lord?
Most niche lord actually could be Malagor. And most niche unit or versatile? Both?
Yeah.
Most versatile, I would say Santigor Throwing Axes. And most niche unit, Gorgon, probably.
Do you take... This isn't a question on the sheet, I'm just curious. Do you take the double Gorgon versus vampire counts, or do you use a different build?
It depends, I have several builds, but yeah, it's fun to take them against vampires. Well, it's kind of the only matchup where you can take them, so at least I can play them a bit, since I love them, but...
Also, Durthu won. And it came down to like 58 health versus 28, and then Torx died. That's closer than I ever thought it would be. Like literally down to the last swing.
Yeah, I thought one of the two will run before, but pretty surprising.
I see in chat someone saying Tretch is as good as Torx, so I'm just gonna put Tretch against him and see what happens. I'm sure this will be fine.
Yeah, I think it will be fine.
All right.
Maybe just Kevin mains don't know the power of Tretch.
God, if Tretch beats Tretch beats Torx here, I'm gonna be so upset. All right, on to the units. Hammond asks, do you want a throwing axe variant for Ungors or Gores?
No.
No. Ooh,
Well,
surprising.
I wouldn't say no, but like, it wouldn't do anything, I think. Like, you will still take throwing axes, because it's far more mobile, it's quick, and it can actually fight in melee, so...
So thanks to campaign, I found out fawns exist. So should they be made a unit? Hank Cyrus.
Why not, yeah. Could be fun. Could be like a support unit,
Oh, okay.
maybe.
I was gonna ask, what do they even do? Tretch
Support.
is not
That's some,
having a good time, by the way.
Yeah, that's pretty expected, but...
Should Beastmen have an Ungor artillery piece? Real human being.
I would say no, too, because like it will be a bit like Cygor, a bit like it's not really at its place in the roster, so I don't think it will do a lot, to be honest.
Would increasing Minotaur mass fix them, or are they already good? Butcherbird and Hammond.
I don't think they're really good. Like they can be used in some matchups, but they cost a bit too much for what they do, and for how fast they die, mostly. So mass could be good, but I think they need either a bit more armor or some missile resist, one or the other.
Tretch is dodging a lot of shots. Maybe he can do this if he lands like 60 in a row and Torx keeps missing. Alright. What do you make of the Blood Greed changes? Overly unimpactful, or missed the opportunity to buff the Minotaurs in a good way? Saltier than you. I don't know much about Blood Greed.
It didn't change that much. Like I need to check the patch note, but I think it barely changed. If I can find it, because I have the patch note open in case. But not even sure what changed.
I don't know. 5 melee attack, 4 leadership,
Sometimes
ITP.
It's been sometimes I last checked, but I think it was pretty unimpactful, to be honest. And it's not really what Minotaurs need, so...
Yeah. Was the Cygor change a nerf? We all know that it was to hide the fact that they copy and pasted Cygor armor and HP for Gorgon, but did it change Cygors for the better? Saltier than you. What changed? What's...
They got minus 50 on the cost, and they lost HP. They lost like 1000 HP, but it's on ultra size, so it should be like 700 or something like that.
I see.
And I think it was enough. Like, I don't think 50 gold is enough to lose
1,000.
that much else, but
Yeah.
I think it's a bit too much.
Interesting.
And I think Cygors like are pretty bad, so they will need a lot more than that to become good.
We already talked about this, but I could just cross this question off the list. Why do you use Centaurs with great weapons? You're a lunatic, butcher bird. Because you're just a Chad.
Yeah, he's not believing in the great weapons Centaurs. But
Here's what I was looking for. Saltier Than You and Artisan ask, how do you personally rate Cygors? Are they a competitive unit in general? Does the Eye of More Sleep redeem them, or are they still a bad investment?
I rate them as trash in pretty much all matchups, except maybe against the elves, where I can be decent. But yeah, no, I think it's not competitive. Like, it's really easy to dodge for good players, like with most factions. And you're paying a lot for the fact that you can fight in melee, I think, but it's actually trash in melee, so
It's very trash in
pay
melee.
a lot for nothing. It's a bit like the Medusa from Dark Elf. Like, you pay because it's supposed to be like an hybrid unit, but it's not really hybrid.
Yeah, I tried taking in the Beastmen mirror matchup. I took the Cygor summon to like summon behind Torox or something or do well, and it just like didn't do any damage.
Yeah, I know, and they miss almost all their shots. It's pretty sad. Like, I had a friend play a game, and like he summoned a Centaur like maybe 10 meters away from Ironbreakers, and he was missing like 3 shots in a row. Like, yeah, no, Cygors are really sad.
It's pretty great. I will say I liked taking one in the Vampire Counts matchup because I took a kite build and the Eye of More Sleep's net was really nice.
Yeah, the net is good.
But
Net can be.
that's the only matchup I felt good with them.
I was playing a funny build against vampires like before the DLC with like double giant and the Eye of More Sleep, and it was pretty funny when vampire players made a mistake and you can just net him and destroy one entity.
Yeah, I was trying to get it so I could net something with my throwing axes and then run them up and kill it, but unfortunately the player was too good.
Yeah, it's still pretty hard, but at least the net is decent, like all nets.
Yeah.
Basic Centaurs are just nothing for him. Cygor, I mean, not Centaur.
There's a lot of questions about regiments for now, so let's just get into that. What do you think of the Sons of Goros? Do they suffer a lot from being an ROR of the Centaurs' great weapons? Should they just be the normal Centaur ROR instead? Saltier Than You and Stormrunner.
No, it could be better, yeah, to have better stats. And I think they suffer a bit because like they have Guardian, but Centaurs can't really stay in a fight for a long time, so it's not that useful. Magic damage is pretty nice, but yeah, I think it would be better if they were ROR of basic Centaurs, costing a bit less, and I don't think they need Guardian, to be honest.
Yeah. They would need Guardian if they had a Centaur Lord to keep up with.
Yeah, like if they had Goros, why not? We could just make them play together, but right now, like, you can't really support Torox because Torox will stay in the fight for 10 minutes, but they will all die, so you have to leave, and it's not really worth it to Guardian heroes for 10 seconds.
Killing Smalls and Saltier Than You asks, which Beastmen ROR is your favorite?
I would say the Bloodbraid Behemoth, because it's a Gorgon, so.
Zigorgan.
But if it's the most useful, actually I really like the Blackhorn Ravagers. I think they're really good. Or maybe the Butchers.
What's different about the Blackhorn Ravagers from regular Gore Herds?
As they have Stalk, which is pretty nice. Better stats, of course. I don't really know why they seem so much better, but they are much better. Like, they never run. They trade well against most infantry. Like, they're just really good. At least they always do well for me, so I like to take them.
There's another one about the Butchers. Where was that one? Oh yeah, since Butchers and Jabberslythe are at the same price point and both bring terror to the battlefield for Beastmen, which one would you recommend getting in general? And in which situations do you prefer the Jabber over the Butchers? Saltier Than You and Artisan.
I prefer the Jabber if there is a lot of range, because, well, Butchers, even if they have shields and regen, still die pretty hard to missile. And Jabber is really hard to shoot at. But if it's to support like an entity fight or to kill armored targets, but just do far better.
Mm-hmm.
And Jabber is a bit better against low leadership faction because you can go from one unit to another more easily.
Pop Palpatine asks, why does double Jabber Scythe need to become legal?
To be honest, I think it could be legal. Like it's illegal because of the Mortis, but like the Mortis is really far from being as good as other Mortis. So I don't think it will be that that bad to take two. But well, we stick with the rules.
Are Gorgons good? Do they need to stop staggering and falling over to become good? How does it feel that they lose to Minotaurs with great weapons, saltier than you?
I think they are pretty bad. Well, really bad.
Oh.
Like, well, first because they have no missile resist, so for monsters with 50 armor, it's pretty painful. And then they just like they don't hit that often actually. Like I think the animations are just really bad. Because even against monsters that have like pretty low melee defense, like they take forever sometimes to kill it, and it's really bothering.
Yeah.
Like the regen is decent, but
it's only in melee.
It's only in melee, and like for a monster with that little melee defense and armor, you can burst him really quickly. So regen is good, but it's not like life-saving for the Gorgon.
I think they need, if their regen's going to be only in melee, I think it needs to be like better than 4 per second.
It's 8.
Still better than that then, because it feels pretty bad. Like even the vampire counts matchup, it just doesn't feel like enough.
Yeah, so they pretty quickly. Like, well, their mid defense is really trash, so like everything hits them, and yeah, low armor, good HP, but it's not enough. But they at least need to be better killers, I think. Like they can't take 10 minutes to kill a Vargul for else. It doesn't make a lot of sense to pay 2,000 or 2,500 for a monster.
When, if ever, are Legions of Chaos spawn viable? Artisan Tech Priest.
It's not that often viable, but you can take them against against Beastmen if you are playing the mirror. It's decent. It can be decent against Skaven, depending on the map.
There it is.
It can be good against Norska, why not? You could maybe say against Gridskin, but it's pretty hard against Big and Spam, so...
The Jabber Slides are doing it! They're beating this randomly generated high elf army! Go!
Yeah, against IF it's pretty good. Pretty good unit against IF.
I mean, I have like 6 of them.
Okay.
Alright. So sometimes when I'm asking questions, I just throw something on the screen for people who are watching and can listen and also...
Yeah, I know. I was watching some of your interviews. It was pretty funny.
Alright. Are Bestigors or Worstigors? Hammond and Butcherbird.
They're becoming Bestigors. Like they were Worstigors for a long time. But right now, like they didn't become better. But you have a lot more threat to deal with when you're playing against Beastmen. So you can't focus them as hard as before. Which is pretty nice for them actually.
Yeah,
because now you have to kill the Triads, you have to kill like Doroks and Manticores. So you don't really shoot at them, and then it's pretty hard to kill like full HP or so Bestigors.
I had a match against Contende yesterday where his Bestigors against my Greenskins were actually really hard to deal with. I did end up winning the match, but it was like kind of the Council Guard for the Skaven, where they're always the last thing left. There was just these Centaurs that I slammed, Bestigors that I slammed everything into, and I'm like, please just die. All my units are wavering. I really need you guys to just die.
Yeah, because you focus your micro and a lot of other things now, so at the end you have to deal with full HP Bestigors, and it happened to me a few times too. And it's pretty painful, yeah. So they didn't become better like themselves, but because of the roster changes, they became better in the end. So it's pretty nice.
Do you think some units should have magic missile or magic melee attack variants? If so, which ones?
Magic missile, no, because I don't think it will fit Angor Raiders or Centigrade Axis. It will feel pretty strange. or except if you had like a rare Anger Raiders, but we don't have one, so maybe you could put it, I guess, on Butchers. Why not? Like one other rare maybe would be good to have a bit more magic damage because like you only have Sons of Goros and Jabber and rare Sigor, but well, it's a rare Sigor.
Yeah.
So I think one more unit with magic damage would be nice. Either infantry or monstrous infantry, I would say.
Yeah, you guys don't have a lot of sources for it besides just Traderkin spam, but that's
Yeah, it's either you go like Spirit Leech, Traitor King, or but your mages, your casters are pretty easy to snipe, so
yeah. What if the Mantle of Gorok was like cheaper or something, but it gave magic damage to a unit like Flaming Sword of Ruin? That'd probably be better.
yeah, I think it would be interesting. Like you could have this and eventually Aspect of the Dread Knight to have in case one of your caster dies. And it could be pretty nice, yeah. If it was like I don't know, 8 Wind of Magic or something like that.
Hank Cyrus asks in the chat right now, how common is it versus Dark Elves that Beastmen bring chariots?
Against Dark Elf, because Dark Elf players are not really playing infantry anymore, so don't really want to play a lot of chariots to kill Dread Spears or cheap infantry.
Yeah, I would agree. They're just gonna get Scourge Runner to death.
Yeah, like, and it's pretty easy for Manticores and such to kill them, so you don't really need a lot. Like you can just take 1 or 2, and it's usually enough.
Saltier than you asked about Ungor Raiders. What would you rate them as, and what roles do they perform in Beastmen armies? I was kind of confused by this, but the clarification is like anti-monster, anti-skirmish. I mean, I think
they are really good, like 80 or something like that. They're really decent for their price. I wouldn't say they're anti-skirmish because their range is pretty low, so it's pretty easy to dodge with the skirmish. So you don't really deal a lot of damage. You can screen a little, but it's not like you will not kill the skirmish. You can just screen it a bit. But especially against like low armored targets, when you can't really commit your Sentigors and such, you just put a lot of chaff to hold or spawn, and you shoot. And they usually always do their value, like they're really cheap. So I would say it's an excellent unit. Like it's pretty versatile. You can use it against pretty much anything, and it will pay back its cost.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't have a specific purpose, but
should Gores get a unit variant that behaves like Chameleon Stalkers, with like 2 charges of some range thing and stealth and unspottable from Hammond?
I don't think so. And I don't think Beastmen are evolved enough to have lasting charges.
I agree.
It's a bit too complicated for them.
What? No, Beastmen are
I think it will be pretty busted, so I don't think Beastmen need it right now.
Beastmen need buffs. Come on, man.
Yeah, we need a bit more.
Yeah. Alright. How do you decide whether to take a Razorgore herd or a Centigore with great weapons? Nameless order.
Depends on the money you have, and then depends against the faction. Like if you want to fight against fast heavy cav, or if it's really slow cav. Like if it's for example 66 speed, you can go with Razorgores. But if you want to fight against something a bit faster, it can be good to have Centigore cut opens. And then I think cut opens do a better job if you micro them well. So it also depends how much you want to micro your mobility, how much you want to focus on it. But with good micro, Centigore cut opens do better.
Hammond asks if you want Bestigore archers or Gore archers.
It will be Gore archers. Like Bestigore archers will cost too much for something we don't really need as rush faction, so
yeah, so it'd be kind of like Orc RR boys versus goblins.
Yeah, something like that. Like medium level archers, but like maybe 500 or 550, but not much.
What would be your dream weapon variant of missile infantry? XMT way.
Well, since he's Beastman, I'm pretty stuck, so I would say javelins,
Yeah,
like kind of the Norscan javelins, something anti-large, pretty close range.
that's pretty smart. There was a joke question that says something like that, where it was like, are beastmen so stupid they can't learn how to throw their spears or something?
Oh yeah, I think I saw it.
We'll get to that, I guess. All right. How badly do you want more sword and shield, great weapon, halberd variants for all the beastmen melee infantry? Hammond.
I don't really want it that much, to be honest.
Oh wow.
Like, Alberts could be nice, but well, it's kind of my playstyle because I don't really care about my infantry, so it's not really something important to me. But like, I guess for someone more focused on it, Alberts would be the best. Because like
Everybody
paying
wants
1,300 for the Arrowware or Bestigors is not really useful. Most matchups just cost too much. But if you could get like Chaos Alberts, like 800, 850, could be pretty nice.
Chasing Rainbows, you can't believe you're missing it, but you gotta go back to work now. Well, there's always the VOD. You can always come back. And there'll even be timestamps, so you don't have to just sit here and listen to my rambling. You can skip around where you want to go. And he also said, ask Raizel if the relentless mooing of the beastmen won the hearts and minds of the people.
Right now, I don't think so. Before they were, but now it's the end. Like before, yeah, everybody was mooing in the chat, and it was relentless, but pretty nice.
It's funny when they're in their cage and you're like, oh, what a cute cow. But when they're rampaging through your house and tearing down your walls, it's less funny.
Yeah, it's not as funny. Did it happen to you?
No. No. But
Okay, so then.
my uncle actually does do cattle farming, and he one of the easiest ways to get him to go on a rant is to say cows are cute, and he's like, no, they're not, because like he'll go on this rant about they're super dangerous, and if you turn your back on them for 1 second, you could be in real trouble, and all that kind of stuff. Like,
Yeah,
not that they're going to murder you, but just that they're big animals. So if they don't really pay attention to you, they could accidentally hurt you very easily.
Yeah, it must be hard to control.
Yeah. And also they travel in herds, so if you don't notice and you get stuck like in the middle of a herd moving, you kind of got to play dodgeball and move with them because you can't push through them at all. So, yeah.
Yeah, it sounds pretty hard. I prefer when my cows are walking on two legs. Easier to.
All right. We have 4 more unit questions than memes. Do you agree that Bestigors have been pseudo-buffed due to the existence of Torax and the now buffed Slaughterer's Call that he has? Saltier than you.
Yeah, technically it's a little buff since the Slaughterer's Call is beta, so Bestigors are better, but not by much, but they're still better.
Yeah. He'd have to be kind of near to them to be.
Yeah.
To have it active.
Yeah, it's a 40-meter range, so it's not that much, but well, it's still a buff, so
Saltier than
everything
you?
we can take for Bestigors.
Yeah. They don't have ITP. Yeah.
No, and they have a really trash leadership, so let's see.
Why do you rate regular Ungors the same as spear Ungors? Saltier than you.
Well, because like they're chaff with low leadership and with pretty close to no killing power, so like spears have anti-large, but it doesn't change a lot. And axe and gores will kill some cheap frontline a bit faster, but in the end, it doesn't change a lot. Like it's the support units that will do the job and not the Angors, so don't think there is much of a difference.
Yes. Hank Cyrus asking, have you ever had a calf suck on your hand? It's pretty cute. Yeah, the baby cows are cute. Big cows not so cute. Also,
Babies are always cute. But...
yeah. And bulls are not cute. Bulls are spooky.
Yeah.
How would you evaluate Razor Gores? Are they OP? Saltier than you.
No. No, I don't think so. Well, they got nerfed several times, so they're not as good as they were, and I think they're decent. Yeah, I just think they are decent. Like, not bad, not really good, but they do their job. Rampage is pretty annoying, to be honest. And their stats are extremely low, so you need to take good fights, but it's pretty good. Like, it's cheap mass, really good AP, so yeah, it's just good, but without being that amazing, honestly.
And it's a herd of pigs. Everybody loves pigs.
Their models are actually really nice.
Go, pigs, go! Last unit question. When will CA add Ungor Great Weapons as Loot Lord commanded? Real human being. I still don't know who Loot Lord is.
I have no idea either.
But apparently he wants great weapons for Ungors.
Yeah, like Great Open Marauders. Like, same kind of... why not? Why not?
Their melee
But
stats
Ungors
would
is
be pretty
pretty shitty, so... Don't even know if they can carry Great Weapons.
They just drop them. There's like a 50% chance that they get disarmed or something.
Yeah, they are too weak.
All right, memes. You indicated that this is not going to be your strongest section, but we'll do our best.
No worries, no worries.
Hammond asks Moo.
So I would say all times.
Yes. And Hammond also asks, "Do you take me for a Wazik?" Which is a
No,
dwarven,
of course not.
It's a dwarven
I
insult.
wouldn't. I wouldn't dare. Yeah, I know. I can hear it in Vermintide sometimes.
Do you take me for a Wazik? Hammond asks also, I'm selecting these at random, and it keeps coming up Hammond. Why was Nagash weak?
Because he's an undead. All undead are weak.
Can confirm. Bob
I have
Tresh
no
asks,
respect for the vampires.
Bob Tresh asks, is cereal a soup?
No. No.
I mean, technically.
Technically, I guess it is, but no.
Sorry, I was reading the chat to see if there are any questions. Do beastmen like potatoes? Hammond.
No, we're only eating meat. Nothing else exists.
Spooky. So, games were... No, that's another Hammond question. We're doing different questions. It's not yours, Hammond. I'll come back to you. Who would you rather play a life or death game of chess against? Balthazar Gelt, Archaon the Everchosen, Luther Harkon, Tyrion, Marathi, or a Sicilian? That's from Jeremy.
Archaon for sure. Because if I die, I prefer to die by him instead of the others.
That would be an
Because
epic way to
Archaon
go
is
out.
really badass. Yeah, Archaon is really badass. Like, I hate Luthor. Morassi is pretty trash. And yeah, the others are not really good either, so Archaon for sure.
Yeah, and you know Marathi would just keep trying to distract you, and I'd be like, play the game, come on.
Yeah, it would be like, shut the fuck up.
I have shit to do today. All right. How many Centigores has Honeynut milked? That's from Malverde. And Honeynut is an RTK player who takes full Centigore builds.
I know him. We talk sometimes on the Beastmen Discord. Well, the Chaos Discord, but it's pretty much Beastmen.
Yeah.
To be honest, I didn't ask him, but I know he loves to play full Centigore build, so I would say a lot. Well, I would guess a lot, probably.
In the units section. Sorry, someone in chat was asking me something.
Otherwise.
All right. Since Ice Power is here and we talked about Marathi, Jeremy says, I've been told I'm supposed to simp for the Fey Enchantress, Ariel, Direfin, Isabella, whatever's under Balthazar Gelt's mask, the River Troll Hag, Ikiclaw, the Frostworm, Thorgrim Grudgebearer, but not Kalita or Ilario. Who on the Beastmen roster is he supposed to simp for?
Morgur.
Oh,
Morgur
yeah.
is obviously really sexy, like he has great body.
Oh yes.
His arm is really appealing, so compared to Morassi, I would say Morgur for sure. No hesitation.
Big agree right there. How have the Beastmen not figured out how to throw a pointy stick? Artisan Tech Priest. Hey, there it is.
Because they are, well, not really educated, and they are not chosen for the IQ, so like they don't really ask themselves these questions. I think a spear is not big enough, so they want something bigger. So they just go for the axe right away.
Are Beastmen the stupidest of all factions chasing rainbows?
Um, hmm. No, I would say Skaven or.
That's rude. That's mean. I was gonna say dwarves, but damn.
No, because like Skaven could kill everyone, but they only manage to kill them among themselves. So
Skaven are
I think
hilarious. Like,
like they're always fighting among themselves,
yeah.
killing each other and scheming against each other. But in the end, they don't do that much.
Their stories are so great because, like, they could literally end the world at several times, but then, like, they fuck it up amongst themselves, and it's just really
Yeah,
funny.
yeah. I think their lore is really amazing, but I think they're in the end pretty stupid because they just always fuck up. Like they always do the mistake, which makes it
Yeah.
pretty stupid.
Yeah, they, like, have these crazy good scientific inventions, but that doesn't make them, like, smart because they just, I don't know. There's just so many, like, it's pretty much trial and error, and then something works.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah, that's
really
pretty much it.
planned.
Like they have a lot of test subjects, so it's pretty easy
Yeah.
to get good innovation.
It gets smart.
Yeah,
He's the only
smart.
one. Jeremy, did your question about the visual updates get asked and you just missed it? We did ask it. He said the Gorgons were the best, and Tuskors actually needed a update, which is interesting because they're a new unit, but they do look pretty bland.
Yeah, I think they look pretty bad.
What ratios of cow, man, and bird is Malagor artisan?
Probably 50% man, and then 25 bird and co.
I would
Probably.
agree. Why
The
is
shape is still human, so
Yeah, he's pretty human except for his face. Why is Artisan Tech Priest West called Artisan Tech Priest West? Are you Artisan Tech Priest East? If you say no, why are you lying? Hammond.
I will still say no because I'm an artisan tech priest north, so I can't be east at the same time.
Xenos. This question is from me. Moo. Moo. That's all I have.
Let off move.
Which Beastman unit would make the best steak and which the best burger? Flying Taco.
Oof, best tech, probably Gorgon, I guess. Gorgon would be pretty nice.
Oh, that is a good answer.
Maybe a bit too much muscles, but should still be kinda tender. For the best burger, I would say Butcher's of Kagangrad. You could technically go Jabber to add a bit of spice to the meal, but
That's some dangerous
texture could
spice.
be, yeah, texture could be pretty disgusting. But people like some like really surprising food sometimes, so why not?
Malverde asks, why would anyone play hoovless factions?
They shouldn't.
Smart.
Doesn't. Yeah, it's pretty bland.
All right, we'll do the Hammond question. So, Games Workshop revealed in the post earlier this year that centaurs are a thing in the upcoming The Old World, but not centaurs like Greek-style centaurs. Do you think they'll get along with centaurs? Why or why not?
Like Greek style centaurs are the same as centaurs, right?
Yeah, but apparently they're their own thing in this.
Oh,
So apparently both are going to exist.
do they Weasel get well with each other? Is that it?
Eh, yeah, he's wondering if they'll get along well together.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Like the centaurs are too frightful, I think.
Oh, okay. Hank Cyrus, I'll lump your question in with this other one that I'm pretty sure we're just going to skip over. Cyrus asks, "Are you are you a furry for maining Beastmen, and what style of fawn do you like?"
What style of fun?
Yeah.
Uh, Parties, big parties,
All right.
lot of alcohol, and yeah, basically pretty classic, pretty classic fun, but
All right. Where are all the cow women, and how are new beastie babies born, Hammond? Well, a stork comes by and drops off the new beast babies, and the cow women are the fawns we just discussed. But it's a stork. And anything else is not going to be discussed in this stream.
yeah, no, I don't think we need to go further into the details.
Ease. Uh, what does the fox say, Hammond?
Oh, so I learned this morning that it was a song because
It is.
I was asking Portal on that, but I never heard it, so never listened to it, so can't really answer, to be honest.
It's a bunch of just random screaming noises.
Oh, okay.
And I don't think that's what foxes say. I think that guy is wrong.
Oh,
All right. Hammond asks, I suck at being a playboy. How do I get lots of girls like you? Do I need to grow my chest hair to look like a beastman?
no, you need to grow the horns. The horns do everything.
Oh, yeah. Big arms. Torix gets all the ladies, and he's gigantic.
Yeah, arms are the best, and then yeah, arms
Easy.
always.
Always skip leg day. Hammond asks, why do you think Human Boy likes Panzer models so much? So that is a dating sim game that my stream keeps trying to get me to play, and I refuse.
Oh, well, since he says he refuses, I don't want to force his hand on stream, so I will not pursue the matter.
It's hard to tell if they're kidding at this point because the joke's gone on for so long, and I'm like, wait, are they serious?
Yeah, I told you that's why when I look at the main section of the questions, I was like, ooh, pretty hard to answer.
Hammond asks Prostegma, which is from Age of Mythology. Have you ever?
Yeah, so I would say Volome.
Yeah. Good answer.
Big fan of Age of Mythology.
It's still good. I just got my friend to play it because on Steam it's pretty cheap nowadays. The AI is still pretty bad, but the game itself is pretty fun because building a city is never boring for me.
Yeah, and I think the game is really nice. I prefer it over Age of Empire 4.
Really? Have you played Age of Empires 4 yet?
No. Now that I'm watching guys stream it and play games on it, and I really hate the graphics.
They do look a little cartoonish, kind of.
Yeah, I think they look really bad, honestly.
I haven't played Age yet. I mean, I'm meaning to get it, but I just haven't had time to play it, so I haven't bought it. But my favorite part is always building the cities. So online competitive doesn't appeal to me that much because it's very much about early aggression and all that kind of things. And I'm like, no, just leave me alone. I want to build my cities, get my walls up.
You want to play Sims?
Pretty much. And then like at the very end, I go, fine, I'll go fight, and I throw a doom stack of cannons at someone and kill them. But it's for me, it's much more building a city than it is RTS.
Yeah, I can see why. Like the competitive part is really like stressful. Like it's timings all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So it can be. It's not always what people want.
This is this is a weird meme from one of my Jeopardy streams, but if there was a piece of burnt toast between two gutter slates, would you eat it? Jeremy and Hammond. Yes, I would every time. Apparently,
Yeah, I think so too.
it's
No
a
worries.
good meme. Artisan Tech Priest asks moo, and I say yes. Toss a coin to your Witcher, says Hammond, and he says I have to sing it, but I refuse.
No, I don't. No worries. Well, I think the song is pretty nice, but it's not really a favorite of mine, to be honest.
Did you watch the Witcher series?
I watched a part of it. To be honest, I didn't like it at all. Because I read the books and I played the games, and I think both were pretty amazing. And when I watched the series, I I found it really bad. So didn't watch it until the end.
I did. I didn't read the books. I did play the games, and I watched the series. They're very different, so I can understand why you wouldn't like it. But Witcher 3 was great.
Yeah, Witcher 3 was amazing.
And then the last question is from Real Human Being: what is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Baby, don't hurt me. And no more.
Love is playing Gorgon.
True.
Yeah, love with Gorgon is the most fulfilling love you will have.
Even though he gets staggered from every attack he ever suffers.
No, that's not true. That's only a few entities, and apart from that, it's fine.
All right. You did it. And just like too much show time, Yennefer or Triss or Marigold? Oh, Yennefer or Triss Marigold by Triss? Because Yennefer sucks, dude. Yennefer's the worst.
Totally.
She just, I don't know. In the games, in the movies. Sorry,
Yeah,
not movies,
you
the
don't have
shows.
to say anything else. Like, she just sucks.
Yeah, and Geralt keeps going back because he's a broken man.
Yeah, he's pretty stupid to be honest. So,
But
but
we had over 80 questions, and I think Satsuma's Greenskin interview had about 90, and he took. I love Satsuma, but that interview was about 3 hours long, and you powered through 80 questions in an hour and a half. So you're a true Beastman player with your rush
they
time.
go too fast. Yeah, I'm always rushing, so
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Satsuma was
Always-
relying on his regen and his skirmish cav, but
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
region abuse, we know it.
I have nothing else for you today. I honestly don't know if you stream or anything. Do you have anything you want to plug?
No, I don't stream at all.
Yes.
I'm
Well-
a pure player, not a caster.
Yes. Did
And my connection is pretty trash, so I wouldn't dare to even try.
do you know when Turn's next faction war is?
No, because like I hope there will be some, but I'm not even sure. Like he's really going on the Age of Empire 4 vibe right now,
Oh, that's true.
and he's doing like he's already doing weekly tournaments. He already did like 2, I think, and yeah, I don't know. Like I feel the community will be pretty like it will be a void for a bit of time, I think. Like I'm seeing a lot of players from Total War going on to Age of Empire, so
Yeah.
I think while we wait for Warhammer 3, we'll not get a lot of things.
Last question, just because I actually forgot. Did you play any of the Beastmen Lords and Turn's single legendary lord thing that took like 3 months to complete?
No, I was not aware it was going on, so.
Uh,
And since I was not playing tournaments at the time, I don't think Turin would have asked me, so.
and at the time, I guess it would have been Kazric, Morgar, or Malagor. So there are only 3.
Yeah, it's not a lot.
All right.
I think Palpatine did one of them, or he did Kolek, I'm not sure. No, I think he did one of the Beastman Lord. So
Oh, I would have assumed you did Kolek. Palpatine's great at playing
yeah, but
Kolek.
I'm not sure. Because if he did Kolek, I don't remember who did Beastman then. But
Yeah.
Well.
I would assume Taco did one? No, Taco probably did Nakai.
yeah, I think so. Taco was Lizardman, I think.
Yeah, then I have no idea who did Beastman.
Yeah, me neither, to be honest.
Yes.
But
Alright.
yeah, this tournament was taking forever.
Yeah, it is hard to organize that many people. I'll give them
Yeah.
that. All right, I think that we're good. Thank you so much for doing this interview and giving us your time.
Thanks to you.
And
Since
I will.
it was pretty early to use for you, so
Yes. Well, I wake up this time for work usually anyway, so it wasn't that bad. For everybody else, I'm going to open a poll in the Discord soon for the next faction. You can vote for Dark Elves or just abstain from voting. And if we don't get 15 votes, we'll sit in silence, and Ice Power will never get his time to shine. And That's about it for me today. Goodbye.
Thanks. Goodbye.
All right, I'm going to go do that poll. Thank you so much to Raizel for doing that interview. And yeah, goodbye forever.